be music going on?
I think there is. I'm not hearing it.
Brian, what do we have to do to get
Hey everybody, it's time for the Solstice Seasonal Spectacular. You know, every culture has some sort of a ritual that they do at this time of year, and every one of those rituals involves getting together with your loved one. As a lifelong entertainer, most of my loved ones I have met on the road, and I haven't been able to see anybody all year. Today is Saturday, December the 26th, and we are listening to a centuries-old folk song made modern by Pete Weiss and the Weisternauts, who was nice enough to let us use this as this year's theme song. We are flying into the Jim Alberti Theater. Opened its doors on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so we could have this little show. The Solstice Seasonal Spectacular.
Thank you for being here at this, the first and hopefully only Solstice Seasonal Spectacular. Today is St. Stephen's Day, it is Boxing Day, it is the second day of Christmas, the first day of Kwanzaa, the sixth day of winter, 8 days past Hanukkah. We have a terrific lineup for you, and I will tell you more about that later. But for now, my name is Chris Chandler. I will be your host this evening in this vaudeville-style variety show. I will go first, and the music is from my former music partner from Seattle, Washington, Paul Benoit.
If you go to a North Country fair where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine.
Most people think of winter as merely a frozen period. The poets draw metaphors of death, the withering away of life, moving on into your autumn years, into your inevitable demise. But I say, damn the poets. E. E. Cummings said, snow does not give a soft white damn whom it touches. I always like that about winter, because snow makes your weed-infested junkyard look just as nice as your Presbyterian neighbor's manicured fescue.
If you go in a snowflake storm where the rivers freeze and the summer ends, please see she has a coat so warm to protect her from the howling winds.
Winter is something you can feel in your bones. It makes us aware of our own skeletal structure as it strips the tree of summer, allowing us to behold the bones of the earth. We see her landscapes without her gaudy gardenias and great green summer tree, her trendy autumn scarves, or her hoary spring negligees made of tulips and bumblebees. We see the earth naked as we see our lover the next morning, makeup kissed away. The low slant of winter's morning light reveals the angles of her jawline. Down comforters in a sluggish sunrise, let us stay in bed a little longer as we look within.
Please see if her hair is still long, if it rolls and flows all down her breast. Please see for me if her hair is still long, 'cause that's how I remember her best.
Some animals hibernate. For them, winter is gone in a flash. But still, it is the cold of winter that gives them the strength to make it through the rest of the cold-hearted year. April is the coolest month. It is the winter that taught the ant generosity and the grasshopper responsibility. Okay, in the original, the ant ate the grasshopper over the long winter, but I bet the grasshopper learned his lesson.
I don't know if she remembers me at all. Oftentimes I've hoped and prayed in the darkness of my night.
To long for all the seasons and the way they change is a far healthier state of mind than to be helplessly infatuated with spring. Perhaps there is a reason that so many people could not start a conversation with a stranger if it were not for the weather.
Remember me to one who lives
So
there.
I say, God bless the winter, for it is both a beginning and an end. It is something that makes us praise the hard yellow warmth of chimneys as we gather in tighter circles to hear the story of the harsher season. Until we can leave with fresh venom to conquer the rest of the oncoming year. There we go. I had to unmute myself again a second time there after I pulled the title card out. Welcome. My name is Chris Chandler, as I said, and I will be your host for this glorious event. My friend Paul Benoit, who did the music on that last piece, couldn't be here in person because he's at a Buddhist monastery, but he wanted to dedicate that song to Whitney Cook. Because in addition to it being St. Stephen's Day, in addition to it being the second day of Christmas, in addition to it being the first day of Kwanzaa, the sixth day of winter, it is also Whitney Cook's birthday. So everybody say happy birthday to Whitney.
Happy birthday
To you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Whitney.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Where's she?
Vern Crawford. Oh my God.
I do believe she is here. So now our first contestant on The Life is Right is a guy that I have long admired. I've gotten to know him through my years in association with the Oregon Country Fair. He hosted an event that has been a very important one for me in my understanding of what the theater is, because it actually, like this show, was meant for charity. Because what it did was all the vendors at this world-class crafts fair could not see any of the entertainment because they were busy peddling their homemade, handmade wares. So Tom Noddy got the idea to put together a show after the festival closed, and all the entertainers came up and did their best 5 minutes, which is sort of the impetus for this show. So it makes perfect sense that he would be our first contestant on The Life is Right. Would you please welcome from Santa Cruz, California, Tom, the Bubble Guy Noddy.
Yay! Welcome, Tom! Woohoo!
Welcome.
Michelle, can you get that?
Tom,
What?
it's Chris Chandler.
Oh, cool. Well, ask her what it's about.
He wants to know how the filming's going for the spot.
Oh, right. For the Christmas, that Christmas show. Okay. All right. Well, it's kind of short notice. Listen. Okay.
Thank you, Tom. I tell you what, we'll get back to you in just a bit. You know, this is my second Christmas season living in Highland Park, New Jersey. And this morning is the 1-year anniversary of me asking Kimberly, who lives here in Highland Park, New Jersey, for me to marry her. Kind of a special Christmas. Before I was in Highland Park, everybody say hi to Kimberly. She is here. She's upstairs enjoying the show.
Hi, Kimberly.
Before I love you. Before I was in Highland Park, I was in Oakland, California. And there in Oakland, they have a tremendous spoken word community. And I was very much a part of that. And probably the reason that I was a part of it was because I was accepted by our next act. She is a powerhouse. She's a juggernaut. She's a regular guest on NPR's acclaimed Snap Judgment. Her latest book is called Dancing in the Presence of Men. And in February, she will be hosting a series called Joyce Lee Presents the Halcyon Fall, where she will interview Black women and women of color to process their realities in this world. She is doing important work. Please welcome, from Points Unknown, Joyce Lee.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you. Points unknown. Facts. Facts. Thanks for having me. So yeah, y'all see me in my glorious quarantine outfit. Don't hate. Don't hate. Okay. I am going to be reading a poem from my book, Dancing in the Presence of Men. This book is about all the things that I have processed, past loves, especially grief, and, you know, the meaning of love, what people have taught me. And this is the first poem in the book. I was taught love through music first. So there's that. This is called Hella Old School. And if y'all don't know about R&B, if you don't know about blues, if you don't know about hip hop, you're just gonna be lost for a little bit. But I suggest you look up some of the names. Huh? How you doing? Look up some of the names mentioned and have yourself a merry holiday, okay? Barely just connected Jimmy's red house to a street near East 14th. Just called every ghetto surrounded by cops, Bleecker Street, just let Break Street break me in, and here you come talking about Tupac. Damn, these youngsters move fast. I'm gonna need you to know a Marvin lyric to the rhythm you'd like to fuck me in. Take your time. You at the grown folks table. And I'm just still learning spades and muddy waters. Learning just how nasty Clarence Carter's blind ass was. Still just learning old JT and Redding give me stacks on the many ways a strong man can repent. I'm just learning black love. And here you come talking about Nas. I ain't even close, baby. Spend a little more time on my insides like Wild Bill Withers and whisper Bootsy Collins to me. I need your conversation and vocab to be longer than an Isaac Hayes and Roy Ayers all-night groove put together. And don't even expect these learning hips to twerk. I'm still just learning to dance through pain. Still learning to make love from it. Still getting used to the snare pop not being a foot stomp and hand clap that encourages me past the lash and whip. Still just understanding that there is a love-making sound that is all mine. I'm still caressing in the language of Mayfield, kissing in Hathaway. And here you come talking about Wu-Tang Clan. I ain't even close, baby. Not even a little bit. Thank you, Chris, for having me. Thank you all for having me. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. I have long admired you, and good best of luck with your new book. We met Tom the Bubble Guy a few minutes ago, and he's made his living blowing bubbles. And I bring that up because I've been on the road for 30 years. And in that time, I have met people that make their living as entertainers in very interesting ways. I know a guy that plays the spoons and has made his living doing it. I know a guy that spent his entire career as an Elvis impersonator. At first, he played the young Elvis the Hound Dog, and then he played the middle-aged Elvis, the movie star. Then he played the fat Elvis. He did his entire career doing nothing but being an Elvis impersonator. I know a guy that plays the bass in a casino live karaoke band. And we can't forget, of course, about the Renaissance performers. This next act I have known since she was a teenager. It's a great joy to have in my life to watch her grow to the tremendous talent that she is. Please welcome Amanda Kitchens, Jim Hancock, Jennifer Scott, and Thomas Newendel. Amanda Kitchens and the Merry Minstrels.
All hail to the days that merit more praise than all the rest of the year. And welcome the nights that novel delights, as well for the poor as the peer. Sweet blessings attend each merry man's friend, that doth for the best that he may. Forgetting old wrongs with poems and song, to drive the cold winter away. This time of the year is spent in good cheer, with neighbors together to meet, to sit by the fire with friendly desire, each other in love to greet. All the grudges forgot are put in the pot, all sorrows aside they lay. The old and the young, the carol is sung, to drive the cold winter away. For the mind to anger inclined, to think of small injuries now. If rowdies you seek, don't lend her thy cheek, don't let her inhabit thy brow. Cross out of thy books malevolent looks, both beauty and youth's decay, and spend the long nights in honest delight, to drive the cold winter away. When Christmas's tide comes in like a bride, with holly and ivy clad, 12 days of the year, much mirth and good cheer, in every household is had. The country guide is then to devise some gambles of Christmas play, whereat the young men do best that they can, to drive the cold winter away.
get more praise. They know the rest of the year. And welcome the nights that doubly likes, as well for the poor as the peer. Sweet blessings attend each merry man's friend, that doth for the best they may. Forgetting old wrongs with poems and songs to drive the cold winter away. Forgetting old wrongs with poems and songs to drive the cold winter away.
Yay!
Hey, that was great.
You are right now?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda and the Merry Minstrels. You know, there are all kinds of entertainers, but I have always said that the purest form of entertainer is the storyteller, because storytelling is the art of telling truth with lies. And there are no better truth tellers that I know of in this world than the Irish. They live in a land where they still celebrate the solstice like no other. And from one of the largest Irish cities in the world, would you please welcome from Boston, Massachusetts, Joseph King.
Hey, Joseph.
Greetings all. Hello there. How are you all doing? Am I live and dangerous yet? Well, anyway.
Are indeed.
Oh, good stuff. Excellent. Well, it's a great time of year to celebrate. There was many celebrations, of course, and one was called the Wren Buys and the Wren Day, when they went out and hunted the wren on the day after Christmas Day. And what I have here is a straw hat that was used in the Wren Buys back in the day, when they'd come and welcome the season in. But this comes from a cross-quarter or a festival that has been marked in Ireland many, many years ago. And about 5,500 years ago, a group of people that had settled an agricultural community came together to build a monument called Brú na Bon. Brú is the womb and Bon is the old cow goddess. And they built a chamber with 200,000 tons of rock. And outside that, there are 550 giant stones that circle this. And when you think about these people back there before the wheel was invented, to go out and look for each one of these individual stones that would surround this big monument, they went far and wide over the countryside. And when you think that the will it took to say, let's move this rock, and they move it over mountains and across rivers and up hills and down valleys, all the way to this place called Brú na Bon, to build this great big chamber. And this big chamber was built to welcome the sunlight of the winter solstice. And on the 21st of December, when the sun rises, it shines in a small window box over the guarding stone. And when the light starts shining down, it penetrates a line of light, goes right deep into the chamber. And it lights up a crucible chamber inside, once a year, every year for the last 5,500 years. Oh, there's a triple spiral carved in there. And from that triple spiral, everything in Irish tradition was handed down in three forms and threefold, moving all the way back through time. Yes, Brú na Bon is one of a complex that we call Newgrange, Doubt and Nout. There are three big chambers. But when you think about 200,000 tons of stone to be built in this chamber, it took about 30 years to build this chamber. And before they built that chamber, they built hinges, wooden hinges, many of them, circles of trees to align the rising and the setting sun. Yes, of course, we didn't have another great day that came around on the 21st of December, and it was when the Holly King came and took over from the Oak King. Yes, I remember talking about the Holly King and the Oak King one time. Long ago, when I came out here, first of all, in the 80s, I was up at the festival in New York State, in Fort Ticonderoga, and I sat around and shared a fire and some stories with a man by the name of Utah Phillips. And I'm very honored to be here to share in his memory, in his words. He had told me he had built the garden to the wheel of time. Yes, the wheel of time. And for all of you that know what the wheel of time is, it's that time when they marked it out, having 8 spokes in the wheel, being equinoxes and solstices and the 4 cross quarters, the old Celtic fire festivals. And they were wise back then, much wiser than we are today. Oh, because these days, if I asked any of you out there about the wheel of time, you'd say, oh, the wheel of time, it just goes on. We're on our way. We're running off down there to get it. And if I asked any of you out there today, do you think the world is flat? And you'd say, oh, no. Those people back there 5,000 years ago thought the world was flat, but we don't think it's flat. I would ask you again, do you think it's flat? You might be shaking your head there, but I have another question for you. When we look at time these days, if we look at time and the future is out ahead of us and the past is right behind, what are we doing? The future's out there and the past is back there and we're seldom present. So it's very, very hard to see and watch time. If we're on the linear, on the Roman road to ruin, sure there's no end to it. Well, for the ancient people long ago, these sites have been associated with the mythological stories. And one of the stories was a story of a great tribe called the Tuatha Dé Danann, the tribe of the earth goddess Danu. And they brought 4 magical gifts to Ireland with them. There are 4 gifts that are given to everybody each day. And they brought a stone called the Stone of Destiny on Leah Fall. And they put it on the hill of Tara, the high seat of the King of the East. And it still stands there, that stone, for many thousands of years. And that stone, it represents a gift of time that we all get each day from the East. The time comes to us as a gift. Then they brought the Dagda's great big three-legged potted cauldron. And that cauldron, no matter how much we've eaten out of it, we eat, and every year it replenishes itself. So they put it on the south. For when we look south, we can look, the fields are full, the sun is high in the sky in its abundance, and we give count our blessings for the abundance we have. And then they brought the spear of the old god Lu, the god of light, that each day our spear is flung from each, and it finds its way to the setting sun in the west. Yes, it's time to pick up the piece we need before we run away without it. And the next gift was Nuda's sword, the warring place. And they placed Nuda's sword in the north, a place of inner struggle, the darkness, the war within ourselves. And yet there were 4 very wise gifts, for if you recognize them every day, you are going to find yourself in the center. And in the center is where the old tree grew. Rooted to the earth, connected to the ancestors, shelters all forms of life here in the world we live in. Insect, fish, mammal, plant, animal, man, and bird. And the branches reach out to the future above. Oh, yes, you mightn't think the world is flat if you're running along the Roman road. Beware, so call it back and come back to the old center so we can see time moves in a big old wheel. And like Utah Phillips himself, he's moving in the wheel on the other side of it. And that's what I have to say. And thank you, everybody, for having me here today. And I wish you well for the year ahead. And be safe, happy, and healthy. Thank you very much.
Great job.
Thank you, sir.
Joseph Keene from Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you so much, Joe. I do hope that we will be able to cross paths in person again one of these days, as soon as this pandemic is over, and it will be over soon. This next performer has long been in my personal pantheon of favorite songwriters, and you'll soon find out why. I find it ironic that in this weird list that I've been concocting of different ways that you can make a living as an entertainer, he does one that I really admire. He's actually in a cover band, and before the pandemic was making his living in a cover band. I find it very ironic that one of my personal favorite songwriters finds the way to make a living in a cover band. But I have asked him to play a song that has long been on my Christmas playlist forever. He's one of my favorite performers, and the song he's going to do for you has been on my song list for holidays forever. Would you please welcome, from Stoughton, Virginia, one of my personal favorites and former music partner, man I love very much. Please welcome Danny Dolinger.
Hey, Danny! Hey.
God, Danny.
Hello, everybody. I'm Danny Dolinger. This is Christina Wolf. And this is Boomer. Boomer. Say hi to everybody. Boomer T. Cronkite. Beagle of Love on a mission. Yep. Thank you, Chris, for inviting us to be a part of this benefit for the Long Memory Project. I think we do a bad job of remembering the mistakes of our parents and grandparents' generations, and even worse job of remembering the successes of our parents and grandparents' generations in moving us towards a more progressive and inclusive society. And I think that there are entities out there, powers that be, that want us to do a bad job of remembering those successes. They want those stories to go away, the things that work to help redistribute power and wealth from the few to the many. The few don't like that, and I do. So I really support this, and I'm really grateful to be a part of it. I think I can speak for.
Yeah, you can speak for me. Occasionally.
Is it Penn and Teller?
Oh God! Oh, no.
Anyway, so thank you very much. I come from Merry Christmas. That was the thing in this season when I was growing up. And almost everybody around me, to my knowledge, everybody was a Merry Christmas person. I moved on to y'all just goddamn be nice to each other, and that's more where I am these days. If something in between there and there works for you, whatever it is, then that is my wish for you this holiday season. Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Rudy lives on the borderline between civilization and basic survival. In the summertime and treats him fairly well. The wintertime is a bitter cold rival, and it's wintertime now in Georgetown. The streets come alive with the Christmas lights, and Rudy sleeps on a warm air grate with a newspaper blanket on December nights. Deck the halls, Rudolph the red-nosed wino knows it's Christmas time. Jingle bells and Christmas shoppers dashing through the snow. God rest ye merry gentlemen who found it in your heart to flip Rudy a fin. Yeah, I'll be home for Christmas, but this man has no place to go. Well, Christmas has little meaning at all to people of greed and incredible ways to seek the deeper meanings in the shopping malls, in a Yuletide spirit of impatience and haste. Rudy is a patient man who tried to see the beauty in everything. Yes, and not a very demanding soul whose only wish is to live until the spring. Well, nobody knows the reasons why things turn out like the way they do, and there ain't no one can tell you the reason why. There's fortunate folks like me and you, and Rudy must have people somewhere who wonder what became of the man, and Rudy must wonder the same damn thing when the crowd passes by and he sticks out his hand. Deck the halls, Rudolph the red-nosed wino knows it's Christmas time. Jingle bells and Christmas shoppers dashing through the snow. God rest you merry gentlemen who found it in your heart to flip Rudy a fin. Yeah, I'll be home for Christmas, but this man has no place to go. died on the borderline of a civilized world on Christmas Eve. You know, the shoppers shopped while the temperatures dropped on a man whose absence won't be grieved. In peace on the soul of the cop who found him in a booth with his hand froze to a telephone. You know, I think I know who he had on the line, and Rudy won't spend this Christmas alone. Deck the halls, Rudolph the red-nosed wino knows it's Christmas time. Jingle bells and Christmas shoppers dashing through the snow. God rest you merry gentlemen who found it in your heart to flip Rudy a fin. Yeah, I'll be home for Christmas, and this year Rudy gets to go. Yeah, and I'll be home for Christmas, and this year Rudy gets to go.
Thanks, Danny.
Great job. Danny Dolinger. Oh my God, that song just kills me. One of my favorite all-time Christmas songs. Thank you to Danny, Christina, and to Boomer T. Cronkite. While Danny was playing, I actually got a text message from Tom Noddy that says he is now ready to go. And I think if we look through the bubbles, we could be ready for, please welcome back to the stage from Santa Cruz, California, Tom Noddy, the bubble guy.
Bubble Man!
Yay.
No, it's okay. It only tastes bad the first 2 years. That's right. I should mention, what you're seeing here today is a result of 45, 48 years of playing with bubbles almost every day. That's a lot of Christmases. Here, this is the love bubble. Maybe best for Valentine's Day, but you know, love at Christmas is good too, right? All right. The thing is, we're looking for real love. And real love is when two become one. Yeah, to get love, you have to overcome surface tension. Scientists told me that. Real love is oneness. Love. Look at that. Babies. Babies. The tornado. Land of Oz, bubble I call it sometimes. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Wow, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Tom the Bubble Guy from Santa Cruz, California. We'll have him back in the show a little later. He even threatens to blow us a square bubble. I kid you not. For our next performer, we are going to travel across the Atlantic to the town of festivals. I met her first at a pagan festival in San Jose, California, where we were both storytellers, and she seemed like the perfect person to add some pagan into our mix. Please welcome from Glastonbury, England in the UK. Please welcome Lisa Goodwin.
Hello. Hi, everybody, and thanks, Chris Chandler, for having me. I'm Lisa Goodwin, and I bring you blessings from Glastonbury in the UK. This is my take on the Nativity, stable and star. It was right, as it should be, the utmost simplicity of that Nativity. Stable and star, these truly are the things we know. For we are not told of the weariness of refugees, displaced and forced to leave, sacrificed for other people's needs. We remember wise men following that star across the land, the shepherd, the lamb, but forget the tenderness in the touch of a trusting man. Stable and star, these truly are the things we know. For we are not told of the pain of a mother bearing down, the laboured birth, the weight of that crown, the gentle hand with furious grip, the sweat, the blood, the aching hips. Stable and star, these truly are the things we know. The raftered barn, the usual sky, England or Palestine, just the same, but for the name and the child's first cry. What hospitality and kindness, receiving guests right after 12 broken nights. Welcome, whether rich or poor, lowly or wise. Yes, they all brought gifts, and yes, those men were wise. But great St. Peter and St. Paul travelled far from the stable hall. Cathedrals, cardinals, all the state, all the dogma, all the weight, all the structure of church and creed, when we already had all we need. Before the gold, incense and silk was the soft scent of pasture and milk. Such plain and pastoral truths of wind, fire, water and earth that stand for the cycle of life and herald the light's rebirth. Stable and star, these truly are the things we know. It was right, as it should be, the utmost simplicity of that nativity. Thank you, and a blessed St. Stephen's Day to everybody.
Thank you, Lisa. Nice job.
Lisa Goodwin, thank you so much. It's been too long. I look forward to crossing paths with you, either on your side of the Atlantic or maybe my own. And I know that with this new variant of COVID, that things are particularly bleak over there. So please stay safe, Lisa. And I hope that we get to cross paths again soon. As you know, this event is a benefit for Utah Phillips Long Memory Project. And our next performer has had the honor of presenting Utah Phillips with the Joe Hill Award for Lifetime Achievement. She is the executive director of the National Labor Heritage Organization that helps keep alive and push forward with the great artistic achievements of the labor force. Fear, a movement that sings. I'm going to say that again. Fear, a movement that sings. Please welcome from Washington, D.C., Elise Bryant.
I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. Say well.
That's great. Thank you, Elise. I am receiving that light. Our next act is going to talk about one of the most important rituals that we have in this holiday season. So many cultures mark the shortening of the days, the lengthening of the days and the shortening of the nights with some kind of a ritual. And of course, all those rituals involve getting together with your loved ones, which is very difficult to do this year, which is why we are doing this, why we are gathered together here in this Zoom meeting. And all of those rituals always involve eating. He is the co-host of this event and proprietor of the 830 Club in which we are broadcasting this event. Please welcome from Santa Fe, New Mexico, a dear friend, Tim Mason.
Yay, Tim. All right.
Well, hello. Let me see if this actually works here. I got a little setup, and oh my goodness, my delicious backdrop has disappeared. So we're just going to have to go ahead and celebrate things the way that they should be celebrated, and that is with dessert. So it is chocolate, the heart of chocolate, cheesecake, mousse, cookie and pie, homemade hot fudge, thick and creamy, dribbling over the melting Haagen-Dazs perched on our chocolate croissant. Oh, chocolate thing, take us into the heart of chocolate, where the calories are natural and don't amount to much if you count by threes. Swiss and Belgian, Lindor, lit, chip from 50-pound blocks into chunks wrapped in cookie dough, baked and served warm. Only one bite takes us into the heart of chocolate.
Hey, Tim, that was great.
I so do apologize. I had a wonderful chocolate background to share with you, and it vanished.
That is the way it works. That's why I've been dealing with analog backdrops. I understand and I feel your pain. Thank you so much, Tim. That was great. And thank you for co-hosting this event. Another round of applause for Tim Mason. He's really trying to make something happen here in lockdown at the 830 Club.
Yay, Tim. All right.
There's a holiday tradition that comes out of Austria and Bavaria, where is known as Krampus. He is an assistant to St. Nicholas, who frightens and punishes all of the naughty children. And I know for a fact that I am one of them. And I can't think of a scarier guy than everybody's favorite songwriter, one of my longtime artistic collaborators, and everyone's favorite sideman, one of the greatest guys to work with in the world. Would you please welcome from Mars, Oliver Steck.
Chandler, is that you? Chandler, shh. I'm in a bunker, 30 feet below the earth, in an undisclosed location. Why? Because he's coming. What do you mean, who? Haven't you heard? I'll tell you. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus. He's coming to town. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty, who's nice. Santa Claus. He's coming to town. He knows if you've been sleeping. He sees when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. Be good. For goodness sake. You better not pout. Better not cry. You better not run. You better not breathe. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is coming. Shh. Chandler. Chandler.
That was great. Oliver Steck, you kill me. God, I love that guy.
Thank you, Chandler. Thank you very much. I can't really talk to you about it right now.
Oh, the chocolate appeared.
Oh, Ollie, you are the best. This next act, we're going to do one more act, then we're going to take a 10-minute break. Thanks for sticking around, and it feels like a good place to take it. And I have long admired this next act. Some 30 years ago, he asked me to come out onto the main stage of a festival with him, and it was the first time that I had ever been on a main stage. And let me tell you, we both gave it a mighty swing. And let me tell you, we knocked it out of the park. I have been following him ever since. It was a transformative experience for me. He never fails to blow me away. And recently, he has had some health setbacks, but it hasn't slowed him down even a little bit. In fact, this year, even with the health setbacks that he had, his song $20 Bill for George Floyd went to #1 on the folk charts. Here he is playing one of my favorite holiday songs. I asked him to play it. Would you please welcome to the stage? Tom Prasad Rao.
Yay! Oh,
TPR!
Well, happy holidays, everybody. What a god-awful year, huh? Well, I'm going to do a song for you that I didn't write. It's written by a dear friend of mine from Asheville, North Carolina, named Chris Rosser. I heard Chris do this song right after he wrote it. As soon as he was done, I went up to him and I said, "Man, you stole that song from me before I had a chance to write it myself." It was so good. It is so good. And I was so jealous. I asked him, I said, "You gotta let me cover it," just because it felt like it was my song. Indian and American images at the holidays. And so I'm going to do it for you now, but I'd like to ask you to sing along with me. It's a really easy part. We just sing Om, okay? Om, and at the end, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. It's not that hard, is it? All right. Here we go. From the west and to the east, they left their homes in search of peace. A transcendental mystic yogi took them in. He was kinda holy. From California to Bombay, they traveled far to sing and pray. But on the last day of the year, their songs became a little weird, singing Om Hallelujah, Hare Hare Krishna, in excelsis Deo, Rama Bolo, Rama Bolo, Gloria, Gloria, Govinda Gopala, Om Noel, Jai Sri Ram, Christmas in the ashram. Rum-pum-pum-pum. Oh, rum-pum-pum-pum. The guru must be out of town. There's tinsel on Vishnu's crown. Someone hung a Christmas star from one of Shiva's extra arms. There's eggnog in the black spiced tea, lotus petals on evergreens, incense burners green and red, and Santa hats on shaven heads, singing Om Hallelujah, Hare Hare Krishna, in excelsis Deo, Rama Bolo, Rama Bolo, Gloria, Gloria, Govinda Gopala, Om Noel, Jai Sri Ram, Christmas in the ashram. Are you ready? Om, rum-pum-pum-pum. They sang gospels and Upanishads, Psalms invade us praising God. Maybe Christ and Krishna are amused when humans get a little bit confused. Singing Om Alleluia, Hare Hare Krishna, in excelsis Deo, Rama Bolo, Rama Bolo, Gloria, Gloria, Govinda Gopala, Om Noel, Jai Siram, Christmas in the ashram. Om Noel, Jai Siram, Christmas in the ashram. Last time. Om Rapapam-pam. Om Rapapam-pam. Om Holy Night.
Thank you.
Wow, that was great.
Awesome, Tom Prasada Rao, thank you so much for offering that. You are an amazing guy. If you don't know of his work, I please encourage you to check it out. And thanks for sticking around. This feels like a good time to take a very quick intermission. We are going to do exactly 10 minutes. Give you a second to refill your glass. I know I need to refill mine. And please enjoy a little more of Pete Weiss and the Weistronauts, used here by permission. Still to come, we have Jenna Kirkpatrick, Billy Jonas, Trudea McKell, Jim Page, Ann Feeney, Dan Byrne, and yes, another appearance by me, your host, Chris Chandler, this time accompanied by John Elliott. Thank you very much, and we will be right back. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the break. My name is still Chris Chandler, and I am still your host this evening. You know, we're all in isolation. Well, welcome back, and I will continue this evening. And up next, please welcome back to the stage, Tom Noddy, the Bubble Guy.
Hey, Tom.
Is the bubble cube. A friend of mine studying physics told me it would be impossible. He was studying physics, but he had an incomplete understanding of that science. Close up the other way.
Hey, done it again, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. You are amazing. Never fail to amaze me. You know, during this period, we are all in isolation. And no matter how you celebrate it, the holidays are difficult for lots of people, especially those. And the holiday of light, we must acknowledge, can be quite dark for some people, especially those who have lost a loved one, perhaps a child. And the holidays serve as a reminder, and who better to express that feeling than our poets? And one of my favorite poets, I am proud to call a friend. She is here in person, but has presented this video. Please welcome from Austin, Texas, Jenna Kirkpatrick.
Welcome home, Jenna.
'Tis the season of the dead and dying, the evicted and evictions, post-moratorium. I recall there was no room in the inn, even way back then. It was all about the capital. The green with envy, greed and power, gained by offing the little guy. All of us, in the lineage of Pontius Pilate, crucified for being faithful and kind. We are ashes. We are dust. We are wishbones. Traces of song, paint, long ago memories that made me. Top of a tree, birds sing. Holy, 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 talking nasty with Granny. Back then, we had the whole family, stuffing our faces till we almost burst. Lying down to watch the Cowboys, playing football in the yard. From my mimosa tree, I could see Papa through the window, hand washing dishes. His leathery hands taught us to garden. Efforts and regrets move beyond the digging. We are growing. We are cultivating kindness in each heartbeat, regenerating strands of collected consciousness. Harvesting each blossom, steeping fragrant, intricate memories, clear turns amber and aromatic lucidity. We drink the tea. There are centuries stored in these bones. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future isn't difficult to see. Close your eyes, my child. Make a wish. Me and I and you and them. We are all made of the same reoccurring mental, twisted family tree branches. Contorted fingers pointing in every direction. It is your choice. It will always be your choice. Choose wisely before your bones are gone to smoke. Clouds, battering anvil. They produce no shape. Our return to sun, banished by the moon, stretched to the light. It is all spiritual. A wish, a favor, a waiver, a want, a need. We all coexist, paradoxically. Rolling around on Christmas morning, black and white shag carpet, Mr. Green Jeans, Mr. Peppermint, Bill's records and tapes, painting Granny's toes while Uncle Jerry plays piano. We're all just unwrapping our egos, and something is laid in our hands. There is no plan, only the pure spirit of birth. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is polluted. Nothing is everything. Your jewels are worthless, egotistical feathers. They fall out and form armies. They divide and conquer. Only the children practice true effort. They color it on walls in an ancestral trance. Petroglyphs are only permanent rootless angels for just a moment. We are aberrations, clear, ghostly visions, particles of all that was good, thrown down here. It's how we got here as a species. Scientists questioning morality, fathers, prophets, and healers questioning destiny. All are one in the bloodline. Just before Christmas, you were born. I saw in you my own wide brown eyes. Just before Christmas, you died. My eyes forever see differently. Cold discipline sets in, days hammer away relentlessly, ignoring beauty. Lungs ebb and flow. We are breathless bellows. Our births, our deaths, nothing is private. We all kneel on watery graves as the pious pretend we aren't floating. Skeptical of waves, leery of fish, these bones are merely drowning false prophets. Bloated bodies begging for insincere promises of devotion. We beat the block for practice, but there is no premise. Words are wishes. Nothing will bring you back to me. We beat the block again and again for focus, offering anything, lighting candles, memorializing, praying to what's living with an unshakable devotion to the dead. It is all right. It is all right. It is all right. Next to your ashes is a collection of greenery, shapes forged of regenerating strands of consciousness. My offering is all my memories. And as a sparrow flies happily into your hands, I am reminded of how we are all connected. Quite simply, quite magnetically.
Jenna. Thank you so much, Jenna. That was an awesome piece written just for this occasion. I so much appreciate it. And bringing us out of the dark is the Festival of Lights. It's a tradition that I'm just starting to learn about. I live in Highland Park, New Jersey, which is a largely Jewish community, and Highland Park is surrounded by a piece of rope that is buried in the ground. It's known as an Erev. And within that section that is surrounded by this rope, you are allowed to loosen some of the tighter restrictions of Orthodox traditions so that you can carry bags and do some daily activities. And this next performer is going to be demonstrating a side of his performance that I am not as used to, because to me, he had always fallen into that category of weird performers who do things in weird ways to make a living at it. When I first met him, we did first Kerrvilles together, and those of you who are in the Kerrville family understand what a tight bond that is. And when I met him, he was taking found objects, recycled things, and turning them into musical instruments. The one that I remember the most was this. And for this performance, I'm going to do a little set change, and I hope that I can do this. He was banging on, he took cardboard tubes and made them into a giant pan flute and smacked them with a found tennis shoe. I decided we would be brothers ever since. Here, doing a different side of performing is something that I am not as accustomed to him doing, but I admire him in so many ways, and I admire this piece and what he does for a living. Please welcome from Asheville, North Carolina, Billy Jonas.
Happy pandemic to you. We try to find as much light in the darkness as we can, and that's what Hanukkah is all about. Hanukkah means dedication. We are rededicating ourselves to being a light in the world, you and me and everyone. We pursue the Jewish value of tikkun olam, healing the world. Of course, that's a value for everyone. The Hanukkah here, also known as a menorah, has 3 lower candles, one for each of the nights of Hanukkah that's occurred. The upper candle is called the shamash. It's the servant candle, the attendant candle. It's also symbolically representative of the eternal flame that burns in every synagogue and burns in every one of you. The flame that never goes out, the divine light that connects us to all of creation. From the vastness of outer space issued a plan to separate sea from sky and sand. But how to give form to the night? Take a breath, make a wish and say, let there be light, let there be light, tonight, tonight, tonight. From the depth of the forest, we fashioned our drums to echo the heart-beating heat of the sun, and call it back from its dark winter flight. Round a torch in a cave we sang, let there be light, let there be light, tonight, tonight, tonight. Let there be light, let there be light, tonight, tonight, tonight. In the scorch of the desert, the Maccabees strain, their faith fixed in a flickering flame. When one day's worth of oil burned 8 nights, every day they would pray, singing, let there be light, let there be light, tonight, tonight, tonight. Let there be light, let there be light, tonight, 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 tonight. In the wick of the lantern, the flame in your heart is an ember remembering back to the start. When nothing is working out right, take a breath, make a wish, and say, let there be light, let there be light, tonight, tonight, tonight. Let there be light, let there be light, tonight, 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 tonight. Will you sing it with me? Let there be light, let there be light, tonight, tonight, tonight. Let there be light, let there be light, tonight, 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 tonight.
That was beautiful, Billy. Wow. Billy Jonas.
That was
Oh
great.
my God, I miss you so much.
Thank you. What an honor. This whole evening. It's awesome.
Thank you so much, Billy. Thank you for being here.
Mhm.
As Billy pointed out, the menorah has 8 lower candles and 1 upper. And I mentioned that today because today is also the first day of Kwanzaa. And Kwanzaa has a candle holder, and I'm a chandler. I'm a candle maker. Kwanzaa has a candle holder that looks very much like the menorah, with 7 candles representing each day of Kwanzaa. It is known as the Kanira. Please welcome from Oakland, California, my dear friend, Tarita McKell.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tarita McKell, and I'm a poet storyteller, also known as a story medicine woman. Yes, there are many stories that can heal and bring medicine to you personally, family, as well as community. Now we're doing this in celebration of many things taking place, one of which is, wow, this is a seasonal holiday Zoom show, okay? So, December 26th is the first day of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa represents the first fruits. And the first fruits of Kwanzaa is based on the foundation that every day is a new day, bringing forth a particular value. And the story I'm about to share with you is the value of unity. Many times, tradition is a good thing. And sometimes it is good for children to listen to their parents or to be aware of things that have been keeping people alive and well since the beginning of time, as Little Bird had to learn. Yes, this story is about Little Bird, and it's a very old Kwanzaa story. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, well, once upon a time, there was Little Bird. He was hanging out with his friends and, just growing and just becoming a nice, fine bird. Oh, his feathers were growing long and strong, and he knew how to fly so well. But one day, his parents said, "It's time to fly south for the winter." "Fly south for the winter?" Little Bird said. "I don't want to fly south for the winter. I like it here." The mother looked at Little Bird. "Little Bird, you must fly south for the winter. It's not only a tradition, but it will save your life, our lives, and generations to come." "What? What are you talking about?" Little Bird's father just chimed in and said, "You better listen to your mama, son. She's telling you the truth. Flying south for the winter is a good thing." I don't know. I know how to fly. And I remember you all talking about this sometime before, so I don't think we're gonna go. My friends and I, we've been talking about it, and heard all the parents talking about it. Oh, fly south for the winter. What's that? What's that? No, we don't want to go. "You might regret this, son, if you don't come with us," his mother said. Father looked at the mother, looked at the son, said, "Well, just let him learn. But it's time to go." So they flew. They took off. The parents took off without Little Bird. And some of Little Bird's friends decided to stay as well. And wow, there he was. And the weather was changing. And it was getting colder and colder and colder. Little Bird didn't understand the change of weather. I guess this is the warning his parents were trying to tell him about. His friends said, "Yep, man, it has changed a little bit, right? Yeah, it's It's gotten cold. He said, you know what? I think I'm gonna follow my parents. I'm gonna go where they're going. The little bird said, you gonna wuss out on me? You just gonna leave? And so some of his friends left, some of them stayed, and little bird thought he'd tough it out. But the cold turned to rain. The rain turned to snow. And it was unbearable for little bird. He tried to warm himself up, and then he tried to fly. And as he flew, the snowflakes got caught up in between his feathers, and he couldn't fly as well as he thought he could because his circulation began to freeze up. Yes, the bird got so cold as he was flying and flying and trying to keep his wings from freezing up with that snow. He plummeted to the ground. Well, lucky for little bird, he landed on a field of cows. Oh, there were many, many cows. And one of those cows walked by and dropped a cow patty right on top of little bird, who was nearly frozen to death. Well, that cow patty was warm. And little bird was under that cow patty just saying, ooh, 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 it smells so bad, but at least I'm warm. Oh, oh, tweet, 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 I'm so warm. Tweet, tweet. Oh. He was happy that he was warm, even though it smelled so bad. Well, as many farms have, they do have cats, right? Mm-hmm. Well, along came a cat, listening to the cow poop speak bird. And the cat got closer and closer to the cow poop. And he could hear, oh, tweet, 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 tweet. Oh, at least I'm warm. Tweet, tweet, tweet. All of a sudden, that cat took its paw and swiped off that poop, exposed little bird. Little bird looked up. The cat was going in for the kill when all of a sudden, zoom, father bird swooped up his baby bird. Yes, he did. He saved bird, baby bird, little bird, his baby. He wasn't going to let anything get in the way of this little bird's life. Even though the bird refused to listen, well, that cat was so surprised that that bird zoomed in and picked up that bird that he was about to eat. Yes, little bird had to learn some things, didn't he? Yes, he did. And I'm sure you learned some things about this story too. Because those who poop on you aren't necessarily your enemies. Those who remove the poop aren't necessarily your friends. And when under a pile of poop, baby, you need to keep your mouth shut. Well, that's our Kwanzaa story for today. I stepped on a pin, the pin bent, and that's the way that story went.
Hey,
Hey. Oh, Tarita, I love you so much. Thank you so much for doing that. And now, please welcome back to the Jim Alberti Theater here in Highland Park, New Jersey, Tom the Bubble Man.
What's another Tom?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Solstice.
Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas, Tom.
Merry Christmas, guys. Great. Thank you, Tom Naughty and Shelley D'Amore, two of my favorite people on the planet. What? What? Oliver. Okay. Okay, we'll do it. Please welcome back to the stage from Austin, Texas, maybe from Mars, Oliver Steck. He has more for you.
Hey, Oliver.
Hey, thanks for asking me. Good to be here for Utah Phillips and the Long Memory Project. This is a song called $338 Behind, and it tells a story of a woman who was evicted in Portland, Oregon for not paying the rent. And the eviction took place in the middle of a holiday snowstorm. It goes like this. Snow is so beautiful, it floats like the birds, and softens the sounds of discouraging words. It's Christmas and New Year's, snowmen and sleds, and beautiful children asleep in their beds. She lived in a building where it wasn't so bad. They gave her medications for the voices in her head. Oh, but life is so hard. They put her outdoors when the rent was overdue. In a parking garage when the temperature froze. Hypothermia, she took off her clothes and she lay down to sleep like a rag on the floor. And she never woke up anymore. And that's how it is, like it or not, when barely enough is all that you got. $338 behind, and that was the end of the line. In this game of life, some people stand tall, some
people are invisible and don't count at all. Some people make big noise and some not a sound. How can we live in this kind of a town? It's an old story, you've heard it before. The rich get richer and the poor stay poor. And it's only a song, and it's only snow, until it gets cold and there's nowhere to go. And that's how it is, like it or not, when barely enough is all that you got. $338 behind, and that was the end of the line. And that's how it is, like it or not, when barely enough is all that you got.
Awesome song. Wow. Great song.
Thank you
Hey,
so
Dan.
much, Jim. I apologize for the technical glitch there where I was introducing Oliver, but Oliver's little video that he was going to follow with was unavailable. And Brian Dozer, thank you so much, Brian Dozer, for doing the right thing and going directly to Jim Page. And I apologize that I didn't get an opportunity to introduce Jim Page, because I can honestly say without Jim Page, we would not be having this conversation at all. I first took note of him back in the 80s when I was a street performer in Boston, and I knew him only by reputation. I think it was David Rovix that turned me on to him. And when I finally got the opportunity to cross the continent, David Rovix had crossed the continent in front of me, and he was then living in Seattle, and he introduced me to Jim Page, and I was lucky enough to become friends with him. He is one of the most amazing songwriters that I know. If you're unfamiliar with him, please check him out. And this next performer, we would also.
I
Hello?
do have Oliver if you want to go back to him.
Oh, well, sure. Let's go back to Oliver. I no longer have the cue card for Oliver, but what did Oliver have to say?
Here we go.
Oh, hey. One more thing. If you see Santa, can you tell him to bring some hot sauce? These crackers are really dry down here. I'm not in the best speaking terms with him right now. I appreciate that. Thanks, bud. I'll see
Oh, Ollie.
Good show.
Oh, how do I segue from that into introducing my personal heroine? We most unquestionably would not be here having this conversation. We are doing a set change for her because, oh my God, I admire her so much. I met her in the late 80s, and she is the aunt of Kimberly, my beloved. She was my music partner for a decade. She has retired. She's not performing that often. It's a rare treat for us to get a performance from. Please welcome from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Ann Thien.
Well, I think all of us are sick of having all the overhead music switched to Christmas carols right after Halloween. There are a few other things that happen before Christmas, but no, we have to listen to Christmas carols. Relentless, endless. And I think our friends at the ACLU had their finger on the trigger. We shouldn't have to listen to that stuff. And I feel sorry for them. So I decided I would cheer up my friends in the ACLU by writing some secular carols that they can sing to themselves as they approach the holiday season. Actually, we're in the thick of it now. So let's see. The first song, the first Christmas carol is from Pittsburgh. and was appealed to the Supreme Court by the ACLU. Deck the halls throughout the nation, fa la 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 la. Time for Yuletide litigation, fa la 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 la. If you must display a manger, fa la 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 la. Get a snowman and 3 reindeer, fa la 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 la. Then I was invited to Milwaukee to play at the National ACLU convention, and it was great fun. And in the plane on the way up, I read this story about how the Milwaukee Housing Authority refrained from evicting people during the Christmas season, and the ACLU correctly reasoned, why should people who believe in Christmas be the ones that get all the breaks? You know, that nobody wants to be evicted. So how come if you're Muslim, so anyhow, moving right along. This is the Christmas carol I wrote for that. I'll be homeless for Christmas, dumpster meals for me. I don't care, I'm doing my share to safeguard our liberty. Christmas time will find me on some warm air grate, upholding separation of the church and state. And my got another one. It's an election one, but it's from an election many years ago. Let's see. Oh, the views that he holds are frightful, but his ballot status rightful. If he won in Rhode Island, we'd puke. David Duke, David Duke, David Duke. And the grand finale, I also, in that same edition of the newspaper, they told the story of how the ACLU had just won a case in the Supreme Court. And that was representing NAMBLA, the National Association of Man-Boy Love. And they wanted the right to have their meetings across the hall from the children's reading room. And so let's hear it for the ACLU. Oh, come, all ye hateful, loathsome and repugnant, come Nazis, come pedophiles, come skinheads and Klan. Though you disgust us, you know you can trust us. If most people despise you, we'll be proud to advise you. When you're wrong, you've got rights at the ACLU. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, that was great. That was awesome.
I wrote that, probably 20 years ago, and
Hi, Ann. Thank you so much for doing that.
about the importance of the long memory. The older I get, the harder it is to hang on to that long memory. But I just did a pretty good job there on my Christmas carols, and I hope you enjoyed them. My secular carols, rather. Have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you in the new year, I hope.
Thanks, Ann.
It's so good to see you, Ann.
Thank you so much, Ann. I really appreciate that. It's great to see you, and I've enjoyed our Zoom meetings over the holidays. It's meant so much to me, and to Kimberly as well. It's been fantastic. I love you very much. And our next performer, I give to you. somebody that blew me away the first time I ever heard him. And I had the good fortune to collaborate with him on many occasions. He writes songs for children's TV, but his adult show and his records are some of the best that I have ever heard. And I actually requested this song from him. He's one of the best performers that I personally know. Please welcome, from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, Dan Burns.
Yay,
Hey, folks. Merry Christmas. Chris, thanks for having me aboard. And here's a little song called Dan Burns' Christmas Song. Santa Claus said, Eureka, I got the greatest idea. He called his elves in his office, said it's time to branch out a little. This year we'll give presents, not only to the Christians, we'll give them to the Muslims, to the Hindus and the Jews. I pretty much decided that this is what we're gonna do, but I'd like to get some feedback, hear what you guys think too. Eddie slowly got up. For an elf he was pretty darn big. He looked at Santa, he started talking. He said, who do you think you are, Jesus? Who do you think you are, Moses? Do you think you're Elijah or the prophet Muhammad? I knew Joan of Arc, you're no Joan of Arc. You're as fat as the Buddha, but the resemblance stops there. You're no Mother Teresa, you're not even Bono during Hands Across America. You were nowhere to be seen, let's get this straight, mister. You're an employee, you're a delivery boy, like a Domino's pizza guy. We're the ones who make the stuff, you just haul it around. We work all year long, you put in one damn days and all my bright ideas. It just ain't gonna happen. We've got our union, we never go for it, not in a recession, when the rest of the industry is looking at cutbacks, is facing retrenchment. In fact, we were thinking of taking the hard line, crossing Catholics off the list, crossing off the Lutherans. Let the Episcopalians buy toys for their own kids. Forget the Mormons, they got 10 wives, they don't need toys. We can have a small party, a holiday get-together, invite a couple Methodists, pour some Gallo Burgundy. Christmas don't have to be a big deal, we can play a little Twister, invite a couple Presbyterians, people aren't even gonna notice. And Santa said, hold it, what the hell is going on here? I may not be Jesus, I may not even be Elvis, I didn't do shtick on Comic Relief, I didn't sing on We Are the World, but damn it, I'm Santa Claus, I am still Santa Claus. And until I am notified that there's some other Santa Claus, we'll give toys to the Catholics, we'll give toys to the Lutherans, we'll give them to the Seventh-day Adventists, we'll give them to the Jehovah's Witnesses, we'll give them to the Mormons, we'll even give them to the Quakers. Okay, forget the Hindus. Okay, forget the Jews. I don't have their sizes. I don't really know what they like. Besides, they don't even believe in me. That sort of yanks my chain a little. Let them fight the holiday crowds. Let them go to Toys R Us. I don't know where Jesus gets off with this golden rule bit. That's easy for him to say. He never had to haul around a big bag of junk. Don't get me started now. I can tell you stuff you wouldn't believe. You think Moses was a pretty good guy? You just go on and think about it.
Okay, look, I'm Santa Claus, I know my place. I'll be jolly when I'm in your sight. I'll say Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. And to all a good night. And if you see Rudolph, I did not say, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? I said, won't you change the hay tonight? That little bugger took off with my sleigh. It was my best sleigh, and I haven't seen him since. Kindly tell him get his butt back here, if he knows what's good for him. Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right, Dan. Nice job.
Thank you, Dan.
Oh, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Have we got Santa Claus in the house?
He just might, by golly. How are you doing, Chris? What a great show you've done there.
Good. Did you have a good night? Can we
We did.
feature Santa Claus there for a moment? Oh, look at you.
And Mrs. Claus is right here beside me. You did a good job there on this show there, young man.
Thank you so much. I hope I'll get better. I hope I get better gifts next year. Because I got a little bone to pick with you about that bag of coal I got left.
Oh, well, I got you a special bone there for you, though.
Thank you, Bird. Finally, I'm going to give to you what I think it was one of the inspirations for this piece for this show, because I wrote this several years ago, and I think it's one of the best pieces that I ever wrote, and I arranged it with my good friend John Elliott, and from San Francisco, California. And a couple of years back, we took it out on the road, and I realized that I had a piece that managed to make angry and inspire the Christians, the atheists, and the Jews. And I thought that piece must be a keeper. So for the final number of the evening, I would like to give to you from Highland Park, New Jersey, and San Francisco, California, Chris Chandler and John Elliott.
Joining me on this number, please welcome John Elliott.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth.
And so it came to pass that the three wise men came westward from the four corners across the painted desert and saw the bright neon star illuminating the sky high above the Tropicana Hotel and Casino in Laughlin, Nevada. I am not making this up.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with
The three wise men had been locked inside a self-storage bin in a suburban town east of where the king was born. No one had visited them in nearly a year, and cobwebs and dust were already taking over the storage bin. Nonetheless, they had been released, and their first destination was to the city where the king was born. I am talking, of course, about Tupelo, Mississippi.
Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't
My mother loved Christmas. She made new Christmas ornaments every year for as long as I can recall. And I was a kid, the one I remember best were the three wise men. They were made of strips of old rags, wheat pasted round quart-size 7-Up, Dr. Pepper, and Cheerwine bottles. They were painted with Byzantine robes with kite strings for beard. The Prel shampoo bottle, shiny yellow cap, was used as a jewel in one of the crowns, and the chest containing the gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh were made from the red plastic hotel from a Monopoly set.
We three kings of Orient are bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star.
In the time of King Herod, the Magi came to Jerusalem to ask where the king had been born. They had seen the star rise, which foretold of his coming, and Herod called to his scribes and astrologers into council, and it was concluded that he was born in Bethlehem of Judea. And the three wise men were sent by Herod with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and most importantly, instructions to return and tell Herod the exact location of his birth. In short, the three wise men were
Star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
My mother passed in February, and at Thanksgiving I returned to my hometown of Stone Mountain, Georgia, to plant a dogwood tree in her honor. And while I was there, I decided to look through more boxes stacked inside the storage bin in search of treasures, the vestiges of a life now enshrined in Ziploc baggies and neatly folded into Tupperware containers, awaiting their fate to be decided by their heirs. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Afterlife. And I opened the red and green Tupperware container, and the profusion of childhood memories rose like the dough of my first Chef Boyardee pizza, and the memory of my mother turning that red plastic Monopoly piece into a treasure chest, and Elmer's gluing it into the hands of a Dr. Pepper bottle, transforming the mundane into holy works of art, called to me. It was simple. The wise men must join me on my journey. When the wise men found the Holy Family, they did indeed present the gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But more importantly, upon their arrival to Bethlehem on the 12th day of Christmas, thus launching the very first Mardi Gras season, the Magi had an epiphany. And much like the former slave trader John Newton, writing Amazing Grace, as he turned his slave ship around and set his captive cargo free, the three kings had a change of heart, and they warned the Holy Family of Herod's intent to kill this potential threat to his power. It is known as the Epiphany.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
Not knowing the Holy Family had been warned, King Herod sent armed forces to kill all of the young children in Bethlehem. It is known as the Massacre of the Innocents. However, the Holy Family had indeed been warned, and they escaped to Memphis, Egypt. And that's how it came to pass that the three wise men made their way to Memphis in a 1996 Chevy Tahoe so they could witness the giant chrome pyramid known as the Memphis Convention Center in Memphis, Tennessee.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday.
The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. The Lorraine Motel is now a civil rights museum. B.B. King defined the sound of Memphis blues music. It is preserved on Beale Street, also known as the B.B. King Highway. We are talking Highway 61. He is from there. He is of there. He is known as the King of the Blues. His music served as the inspiration and the roots for what would become rock and roll. Myrrh. Elvis Presley, born in Tupelo, Mississippi, became the king of rock and roll. He came to Memphis for the music. He lived there. His house in Memphis is a museum to generations. He had more gold records than anyone else. He has arguably been heard by more people than anyone else born in this hemisphere. Gold. These three kings of Memphis have changed the world by bridging the cultures of black and white. Elvis Presley imbibed the black roots music of B.B. King, which made it palatable for white audiences by turning it gold.
Deep
while Martin Luther King
heart,
used the power of the church
I
to knock down the
believe
Jericho walls of segregation.
We shall overcome someday.
After warning the Holy Family, the Magi did not return to Jerusalem as instructed by Herod. Instead, they chose to live out the remainder of their days in exile. There are many stories about what happened to the Magi that December morning, but I know for a fact that they went from Memphis, Tennessee to Okemah, Oklahoma to visit the home of Woody Guthrie, into Madrid, New Mexico, into the Four Corners, and across the Hopi land. And as America passed in my rear view, reports around multiple wars flashed like mile markers amongst billboards advertising the holiday season, and I think of the slaughter of the innocents.
All on your knees, oh, he oh night divine.
And so it came to pass that the three wise men came westward from the four corners, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico, and across the painted desert, and beheld the bright neon star illuminating the sky high above the Tropicana Hotel and Casino. And this time there was room at the end.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help.
When crossing the desert, I recommend taking refuge in a casino, not a manger. It is a cheap way to rest, and the luxurious hotel was only $19, and it came with a free buffet. The hotel even gave me a $5 credit card in which to gamble, so I figured, what the hell? And I went out to the car, and I got those quart-sized figurines, and I placed them on a bar stool. In front of a one-armed bandit, I inserted the card and I pulled the handle. Elvis Presley was singing Wise Men Say over the Muzak sound system. The stars rolled round and stopped. A chorus of Casio keyboards rained from the sky. Like a gift, I won gold. I won frankincense. I won myrrh. I won $19. The room was paid for. I put the wise men back in the container, and they continued their voyage westward into the setting sun, across the land to the east, across Route 66, home. I had left home on October 25th and was on the road for 40 days and 40 nights. And as I returned home on the 40th night, I am grateful to all those that helped this weary traveler along the way this holiday season. May there always be room at the end.
Oh my
That was brilliant, Chris. That was brilliant.
Holy shit!
That's amazing.
That was
great.
Both of you.
That was so great.
Thank you so much.
Goosebumps, goosebumps.
Thank you so much for
I
being
mean,
a part
all
of this.
I think, felt
This
that way.
hopefully first and only Solstice Seasonal Spectacular. My name is Chris Chandler. I have been your host. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you will hang around for the after party. I am going to join as well. I'm not sure how we're going to get this, and I don't have an outro for you, but thank you so much for gathering around, and we will see you all soon.
So beautiful. Thank you.
That was awesome. So, thank you, Chris. And I hope